Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review on the Challenge season premiere of Double Agent. Woof! Can I say that I'm really happy that they're doing hour-and-a-half episodes now. It's been, I don't know how many seasons. I haven't really paid attention before. I was just always like, wow, these episodes are really long, but every episode has a lot of information going on in it. Obviously it's a really good show, or else they couldn't air it for an hour and a half. There's just always so much content in it. But let's get into it. I'm so happy that they were able to film despite COVID. They secretly filmed in Iceland. Really wanted to go there. But super happy they were able to. It's really intense, and there's a lot of people. Rookies, newbies, veterans, things like that. There's just so many people on the season. I don't even know who's all in it. There's just so much. And it was kind of like the whole, how are they gonna win? Is it like individual games? Is it partners, pairs, things like that? It's always like an uncertainty until like maybe halfway into the episode when TJ's like, hey guys, this is how you're winning. You're splitting the million in this way. Like, this is how you have to win. But at first, it was kind of like every man for themselves initially when it started. So we have the little lame-ass cutscenes from TJ walking down the beach, you know, just trying to show you how intense this season is going to be. We have everyone having their little voiceovers going on, and Corey talking about how Josh is lame. I don't like how much everyone likes to talk down on Josh. Josh won his Big Brother season, but people still love to say stuff about him because he's emotional. I'm emotional. I don't think emotional is a bad thing. He won his season, give him his credit where it's due, but this is just a little comment that I'm giving. But first challenge, it was split by gender. It was women and men. They all had to run up to the top, like this kind of like little mountainous kind of thing, get the capsule and memorize the order of the colors. This is just something I'm just gonna admit. I'm always confused on the objective of the challenge. I'm always confused about the objective of the challenge when I'm first watching. I'm always like, what are they trying to do? I don't know how they're supposed to, when I see them all running, the wrestling, I'm always kind of lost until like maybe halfway through it and I see them running back and forth, they're saying things. And I was like, oh, they have to get the colors from the capsule, run back, put it in the right order, and then eventually tell TJ to come and check if they got it or not. Did you see Lolo fly up that mountain? At first I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna win. She's the Olympic, substitute from the Olympics. That's all I know about her. I just know she's a really strong player. They're counting her the rookie because she's only really played in like the charity seasons. So she's coming in hard, coming in strong. She's a strong competitor. I know that she'll do really well. But the girls came in and she flew up. Tori tackled her and stole it from her. And I was like, oh my God. And the thing is, like, everyone was kind of like wrestling over it. And the thing is, like, you're supposed to be getting the color from it. Everyone fighting and covering it. It's not really benefiting anybody. So imagine it's under someone. No one can even progress. At some point, they're all kind of just fighting each other. Not as much as the guys were, but they get the colors and everyone's going back and forth. At that point, like, it's anybody's game. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna decide the winner. Like, who is it? Like, they're running back and forth. Cam's having her voiceover as Ashley is. Like, again, there's so many girls. Whenever it's the beginning of the season, it's really hard for me to remember who's in the season, who to root for, things like that. But a lot of the girls were saying check, and TJ was checking. They were getting them wrong. They're like, check. And I'm always like, just calm down, be smooth. I'm sure if I was in there and I'm like hearing someone else saying check, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going really slow. They're about to win. Like, why am I taking so long? But just focus on yourself. And I feel like no one's doing that. And like, again, it's the first competition, so it makes sense. And for whatever reason, Nicole was telling Lolo the answers. I don't know where the like alliance or like pairing came from. I was like, okay, like play your own game. Because also if you're yelling it, if people really care enough, they're gonna be listening and getting the answers from you. So I don't really know how that's gonna benefit you in the long run. Again, first competition / challenge of the season. So it's kind of like, all right, we're already picking sides. But eventually, Anissa won. People like to talk down Anissa because it's been several years and seasons of her playing, but she's never won yet. But she won this one, so good for her. She was the only girl, because only one male victor and one female victor of the competition as a winner. But good for her. As for the guys, they were just genuinely wrestling. I don't even know who was at the bottom of it. I don't know who was on top. I don't know who was sides. It was just like, all right, we're just gonna see them duke it out for who knows how long. Let's just wait for them to like finally show who's like actually getting information from this. It was Corey at the very bottom saying he was like running off with it, trying to remember the colors. I see Fessy, all of them. CT throws a shoe, he hits West in the face. I said, okay, we got some little comedy going on. But I was just like, they're on the complete other side when that whole little altercation happens. Whereas everyone's fighting for this capsule. I'm like, let me just see who wins. I don't know. And Fessy wins. I like him. I genuinely do like him. I thought it was fake when Corey was like, oh, I'm good with Fessy. I'm happy he won. I feel secure. Even though in the last season, Corey got upset about Fessy, like not picking him for something. I watch every season, but I don't remember exactly what happened. I just know that Fessy didn't pick him, or he didn't nominate him as something, and Corey thought it was shady and thought that Fessy wasn't trustworthy. So now it's like, okay, I guess you guys could have mended things within like a year or less than a year, but do you really trust him? Like, it's really hard to have trust in people unless you're maybe like a significant other, or I don't know, because everyone kind of double crosses each other in this series. But then after that happened, we have Aneesa and Fessy. Like, what does that mean? Like, as they won. TJ now, so they're playing in pairs, and Aneesa went over Fessy in regards of time. Like, she got the colors faster than him, so she got the pick of the litter. It's male and women pairs, so obviously Aneesa got a pick, and everyone's like, oh, who's she gonna pick? Who's she gonna pick? And they're kind of like making jokes because Fessy was all looking around. Fessy is a very strong competitor. No, he has not won yet, but it's very clear that he could potentially win sometime in the near future. And Aneesa picks Fessy, and everyone's like, you know, whatever, because everyone likes to talk down on Aneesa, but give her credit where she do. She comes every season she comes strong, and she comes with the will to win, so let her try. And then from then forward, it's Tori Corey, Teresa and Jay, Darrell Amber, Deb and Nicole, Natalie West, Gabby, Leo, Casey and Leroy, Josh, Cam, Big T, Joseph, CT and Ashley, Lobo, Nam, Nelson, Amber, M, and Michi and Liv. Despite that, I definitely cringed when Ashley attempted to pair up with CT. I don't know if I said it right. I definitely cringed when Cam tried to pair up with CT. I don't know if you noticed when Leroy and Cam got the consensus that they wanted to separate from each other and at least try and like infiltrate, you know, the house. It makes sense rather than pair up together and like completely lose your one chance to win. You kind of split up, and if you guys get voted out, there's still like the other couple. And yeah, CT literally swerved Cam. I'm like, oh my god, this is super awkward. Don't know why. I think she's a strong person just because she has, I mean, a lot of people in there have not won. So I don't know if that has to do with that. Who knows if it's a race thing, we're not really sure. But it was super awkward. She kind of like actually went up to him like, hey, let's just be partners. And he was just like kind of, I don't know if he said anything, he just walked away. And I'm like, it's so uncomfortable, but obviously he picked Ashley. And I feel like that was a interesting choice because they're two victors, and I feel like every kind of competition show there's two winners in there and they're together. People like to put them out because they won before, they're too strong. So I don't really know why they decided to do that. He could just pick Cam, and I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to address it, because I know she's going to confront him because Cam is a killer. Cam, she's strong, she's confident, and she's very vocal, so I'm kind of interested to see how that will be. A comment that I have is that Wes loves picking newbies. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I just noticed that. Like, there was Dee, she was a newbie. He picked another newbie, I think the season after her. There's this, like, he just kind of gets the new people, trying to like recruit them, infiltrate their minds a little bit, maybe have them be his little guinea pig, because like, I like Wes, I don't have anything against him. I just noticed like that's his tactic as of like the recent seasons. After that, I was kind of curious to see how they're gonna have like their nightlife or go out, because I feel like those nighttime drinking situations are when like the real yikes drama stuff happens. People are yelling at each other, like the actual drama comes out, but it's COVID. So I'm curious like how they're gonna do. I'm sure there's gonna have like a backyard kind of bar thing, just them, but they do kind of have like an igloo looking thing, or maybe I kind of just assumed that's what it looked like. But they go outside, they're drinking, and they're having a conversation, and Big T's partner Joseph is passed out, or looks like passed out on the couch. I'm like, have you seen the show before? And it also said he's from America's Got Talent. I don't know if he won or he's just a contestant, but I'm like, why are you sleeping, or allegedly sleeping? This is a show that you not only have to be physically in it, but you have to be mentally in it. You have to have social game, and you can't sleep your first night as a newbie at the party. I know it's kind of like fun and like entertaining, not like really real life kind of thing, but like I feel like it was kind of an essential time to try and talk and discuss and get people to know him, because I don't know who he is. I'm pretty sure they didn't at that time. He also said he doesn't take things seriously. Again, it's a game, but you should take things seriously, but that's just me. Darrell says he doesn't trust his partner because she's from Big Brother. For whatever reason, every time Big Brother contestants go on the show, no one trusts them. There's all these other people who come from different shows, but it's always Big Brother that gets a really bad name. I don't understand why, because I know they have to do like mind games on the show in the sense of like social games, but they just never trust them. It's like, it's your partner. Come on, like you don't even know her yet, but he already has this trust. The next kind of like cutscene in the sense, Cam and Aneesa are having a heart-to-heart in regards to being women of color, Black, and just being undermined and just not taken seriously in the sense of just, yeah, that's just what it is. And I don't know if Cam was kind of almost trying to like get that out there due to what happened with CT and him just not wanting to be with her Ashley and Nani were kind of just like, you know, when people can just nod and they're just listening, but like maybe not really retaining any information that's being given. That's what it looked like to me. But they were just kind of sitting there and listening and stuff. But I don't know, it'd be kind of interesting. I'm kind of glad that a lot of these TV shows / reality shows are letting, again, the Black or minority characters speak their truth and actually air it, because I know maybe this happens more often than not and they don't air it because they don't want to, or they feel kind of like they don't want to have that aired out and I guess maybe take a stance on these things. But I'm glad that they're starting to. And then things got kind of heated. So CT, as everyone knows, he's a very big veteran. He's been around for a long time. He's won multiple times. He's a big threat, considering he's a very big threat despite him being older. He's already kind of aware that people have a target on him, or him and Ashley as like a team. Maybe you shouldn't have picked Ashley. Maybe you should have stuck with Cam. But he is panicking and he's starting to ask everybody, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Because there's kind of voices that are speaking about saying that they want to get out someone strong / veteran / one, meaning him and Ashley, or him and or Ashley, but they're a team. So obviously they're going to be put together. And he's asking everybody like, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? I understand when you're like that confident and like a big household name kind of thing, you're going to ask people this stuff, but like, do you really expect them to be honest? But I guess he also was saying like, I want to see how people are going to lie about it, because I know they're not going to be truthful, or maybe we're going to be truthful. But I would be like, no, I'm not going to vote for you, even if I guess I was thinking in it. Or if I'm noticing you're asking everybody about it, that might make me want to vote for you, because I'm like, are you trustworthy? Like, why are you asking everybody? Like, why do you have this much doubt on 24 hours in, essentially? And then we see a conversation happening between West and Corey, and they're saying how they're kind of on the same page that they need to vote in someone strong. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, Ashley and CT, rather than a newbie. I don't know why they always like to try and do the newbies. Like, they like to do that in the past season. Like, let's get the newbies out. They don't deserve to be here. They haven't earned the right. Why would you get them out when you want to keep them to the final so you can beat them? But they always want to, I guess, play a friendship game, keep the people who've always won. Like, that's boring. So now they're finally allegedly trying to do the opposite of that. And they're all kind of getting together to try and vote out Ashley and CT. Also, TJ announced that it's going to be an anonymous voting. So not just as a group, you're going to vote individually and then no one's going to know. So you're going to go into a room, it's going to be secret, as we assume. So it doesn't really matter who you pick. Like, you don't have to agree with your parent, but you kind of should to try and get numbers. But that's just kind of like where we're at in the season. Again, it's first episode. But when they have a little congregation to try and discuss everything before the voting happens, CT speaks up and he's like, okay, so who are you going to vote for in front of everybody again, or just like try to make a campaign to like vote for someone that's not him. Like, that's kind of what he was trying to do with Cam. Ashley was hurt. She's like, so what are you trying to do? Like, who are you trying to say? We don't need to vote out a newbie. And even the newbies were like, yeah, like, why are you trying to say this? I think it was Joseph and I forgot the other person's name who spoke up about like, what are you trying to say? Like, oh, that's not what I'm saying. Like, after you had a big talk about saying how you shouldn't be voted or nominated, now you're kind of like backing up about it. But you're trying to be a big talk, and Cam and Leroy eventually speak up, and CT's like, oh, I'm picking up on Cam. I think she's kind of hurt that I didn't pick her at the beginning of this. Like, I can see she's upset about it, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'd be upset too. I mean, that's just kind of what happens. She has really no one else to really be like mad at or have any anger towards, I guess. I don't want to say anger because she's not angry. She's maybe just more hurt. But he's like, okay, I can see she has resentment towards it, whatever. And everyone goes in, and they all do their little votes. Everyone's giving their little spiel about it, but we don't see everyone's votes at the beginning. Eventually, Anissa and Fessy go into the room because they were the winners of the week, and they get to see not only who won, or they get to see not only who was nominated, CT and Ashley, surprise, surprise, but the people who voted for him. There was so many people on that team, or there were so much people that were like, their pictures were on the screen, but there's no name. Not saying that they don't know their names, maybe they don't if they're newbies, but there were so many pictures. I was like, how do you remember who's all on there? So essentially they kind of decide whether, do we tell the house that we know this? Do we use it against them? Do we say something? And they kind of got to the consensus that like, let's just not let anyone know. Let's keep it a secret. It's only gonna be a secret for like a week or so, because every week there's gonna be another pair who wins. So eventually more and more people will see that this was like revealed out. But so far it's only Fessy and Anissa who know this. But you see everybody, I'm pretty sure it's really hard for them to even remember who was listed because there was so many faces all at once. It was like over, I don't want to say 15 or 10. I don't really know how many people were competing this season, but there was a lot. And I'm like, I don't even remember who's on there. I feel like the easier way to try to remember is who was not on there. After that, it kind of just was showing everyone having dialogue and working out because everyone just works out a lot. It's a physical game, so everyone's just working out. We don't really know like what happened after that. The next thing is the actual Gauntlet challenge thing. They have different names for it every time. And it shows that at the end, like we don't know who's going up yet. Like Anissa and Bessie know, but the whole house doesn't know until they go down. So they go down. TJ kind of just like, hey, we're down here. We're gonna have the people show up and everything. And eventually we find out as a whole that it's Anissa, and we find out as like I guess a group that Ashley and CT are the two who are gonna be going down. But who's going down against them? Nisa and Fessy give their like little speech. Is kind of actually more Nisa like, this is who I'm gonna put. I've been here for a while. I think that I'm gonna go hard, go big, and like nominate someone strong. Essentially, she nominates Wes and his partner Natalie. Bessie follows suit because what's the point of picking someone else? Because that's just when it gets messy or confusing. And TJ says like, you guys might as well go in if you can't get to an agreement. People are saying that Bessie should go in because now moving forward, it seems like every season they're doing this skull thing, which I like because a lot of people would slide to the end without actually like winning something to like deserve going to the final or like, you know, but now I'm really glad that they're doing this. And then the big draw happened, but then the big surprise happens. TJ announces that it's a girl elimination. We're like, oh, because when you see the two pairs, you're assuming the two pairs are gonna go together and then like one pair is leaving, but no, it's the two pairs and then the girls of that are going against each other. So now we're like, shoot. I honestly was like, oh, I know Ashley and CT are gonna stay because the commercials show that CT's in the commercials later. So they're both gonna stay, but then when the girl thing happened, I was like, I have no recollection of who was in the trailer before this, so I have no idea who's gonna be. So Natalie and Ashley have this thing where they're kind of having to like physically swing themselves backwards and then forward. Kind of hard to explain unless you see it. And like, it could be anybody's game. Ashley's a really strong competitor. She's won multiple times. Natalie, I don't know anything about her, but I do know she's on Survivor, or she was before. And again, it was anybody's game. People were saying Ashley because she was small, but then people were saying Natalie because she was on Survivor, needed to be strong to be on there. Natalie won. Good for her. This is her first season. She's a rookie / newbie essentially, and Ashley goes home. It's kind of always sucky to see like the first few people to leave because obviously there's a lot of fight to give. Ashley's won multiple times. She could have potentially won if she had more chance, but she went home on the first episode. That's super crazy and really shocking to me. But the big shock at the end of it, TJ is like, hey, so Natalie, this is the big victor for you, not only a skull, but now you get to pick to either go back to your partner Wes, you can pick the losing victor kind of CT, or you can pick any of the guys that are up in like the other pairs. It's gonna be really interesting to see because regardless, there's always gonna be one gender who doesn't have a partner. So essentially if she picks, let's say Wes, then CT's by himself. So like, what does that mean? Or she picks CT, Wes is by himself, vice versa. So I'm kind of like interested to see how this is gonna be. I love how every season they have big jaw-dropping things that happen because it's really hard to guess the next season. And I really love that because it's not like predictable in that sense. But wow, this was a really loaded first episode. Love the series. It never fails to disappoint me, but let me know what y'all think of it and see y'all next time. Bye.